You have been watching the wrong part of the squirrel. Every time she is in your yard, on the fence, at the feeder, in the oak tree, you have been looking at her eyes, her face, the direction she runs, and all of that matters. But behind her, moving constantly, waving, flicking, curling, going completely still, is the part that carries most of her communication. The tail, a squirrel's tail, is not decoration. It is not for balance alone, though it does that too. It is a signaling system, a living flag, a broadcast that other squirrels, and eventually the humans who learn to read it, can understand clearly if they know what they are looking at. Tonight, on Global Wild Origins, we are going to learn it. 8 specific tail signals, what each one means, and the moment in your yard when you will recognize each one for the first time. Because once you know this language, you will never look at a squirrel the same way again. Welcome. Let us begin before we get to the signals. It helps to understand why the tail became the squirrel's primary communication tool in the first place. Squirrels are prey animals. They cannot afford to vocalize constantly. Sound travels in every direction, including toward predators. They also cannot make dramatic physical gestures without drawing attention. So over millions of years, squirrels evolved a communication method that is precise, directional, and visible only to those who are already looking, the tail. Researchers studying eastern gray squirrels have documented that tail movements are not random nervous behavior. Each movement is deliberate, consistent across individual squirrels, and produces predictable responses in others nearby. A squirrel watching another squirrel's tail receives information she immediately acts on. The tail is also remarkably expressive. It can move fast or slow, broad or narrow, up or down, flick once or repeat. Each variation carries a different meaning. And unlike a sound that disappears the moment it is made, a tail position can be held for several seconds, long enough for every squirrel in the yard to register it. Now let us go through the signals one by one. The first signal is the one you have seen the most and probably misread the most, a slow, broad, side-to-side wave of the tail. The full tail moving like a flag in a gentle wind, relaxed, unhurried. The squirrel doing this is usually seated, not fleeing, often looking around calmly. This is general alertness. She has noticed something worth registering, but has not yet decided it is dangerous. This is the equivalent of raising your hand to signal I am paying attention. It is a broadcast to other squirrels. Something changed in the environment. Stay aware. Not an alarm, not a threat. Just notice. If you are walking toward the feeder and a squirrel flag waves at you, she is not afraid. She has seen you and is telling the others. She expects you to do something and she is watching to see what it will be. Stay calm, move slowly, and the wave will stop on its own. Now the pace changes. The tail is not waving, it is snapping. Short, sharp, rapid flicks. The squirrel's body has gone tense. Her ears are forward. She may have frozen mid-step. This is active alarm. She has identified something she believes is a real threat. A hawk overhead, a cat at the edge of the fence, an unfamiliar person moving quickly. The fast flick is urgent. It is the difference between a flag wave and a siren. Other squirrels within sight will freeze and scan immediately upon seeing this signal. The faster and more repeated the flicks, the higher the perceived threat level. If a squirrel fast flicks at you and then runs, you moved too quickly or came too close. She calculated threat and the answer came back yes. Next time, approach more slowly and let her flag wave at you first. The fast flick is a line you just crossed. This one requires you to look at the shape of the tail, not just its movement. The tail is raised, fully raised, arched over the back, and it is puffed, fluffed out to its maximum width, and it is being held still in that position, sometimes for several seconds. This is territorial display. The puffed tail hold is the squirrel making herself look larger. She uses it when another squirrel has entered her feeding area, when she is competing for a particularly good cache spot, or when she is warning a rival that this space is occupied. It is a non-violent first statement. I am here, I am larger than you think, consider going elsewhere. Researchers have documented that subordinate squirrels will frequently retreat upon seeing this signal without any physical confrontation occurring at all. If you see 2 squirrels near your feeder and one raises and holds a puffed tail while the other flattens, you just watched a negotiation. The one who held the puff won. Watch for this in late autumn when food competition peaks. You will see puffed tail holds multiple times a day near any active feeder. Now something softer. The tail is not raised high, not flicking, not puffed. It is curved, curled gently upward in a smooth arc. The squirrel is relaxed. She may be eating, grooming, or simply sitting still. The curl is quiet and held loosely. This is contentment and safety. The tail curl is what a relaxed squirrel carries when she has assessed her environment and found nothing worth worrying about. It is the resting state of a squirrel who trusts her surroundings. If a squirrel in your yard regularly sits near you with a softly curled tail, she has filed you under safe. You are part of a world she is comfortable in. That curl is one of the quietest compliments a wild animal can give you. You will most often see the tail curl after a squirrel has finished eating and is sitting still for a moment before her next movement. It is the visual equivalent of a satisfied exhale. This is the one that looks like frustration, because it is. The tail moves in large, emphatic, sweeping arcs, not the quick snap of the fast flick, not the broad, gentle wave of the flag. This is somewhere between the two. And it has an energy that the others do not, an irritated, almost impatient quality. This is agitation or frustration. The tail lash appears when a squirrel is repeatedly disturbed without clear threat, a dog that keeps approaching and retreating, another squirrel that will not leave the feeder, a human who keeps moving toward and then away from her. It also appears when a squirrel cannot access something she wants. Researchers